Hi there, I'm Mike of Nearly Enough Dice, and this is the Kerbal Space Program. This is what I've now called Pallas V on the surface of the Moon, having successfully got some temperature data. I'm just going to go see if I can't find that contract. Doop 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 doop. Wait, was that it? Is it Bob's Fortune I've done? Well, clearly I've done Bob's Fortune. No, this is going to be a pain in the butt to do, but this is the correct one. Basically, because there's sites all over the moon I need to get to. I think that that looks to be one of it. I need to get those two. Bob's Fortune was near me, and then I'm going to have to get this one, which I think is in one. That might be the one that's in flight. But never mind. I'm going to try and get these two. Now I've done a bit of maths, and I've worked out that they are bearing 70. The heading is 74.5 degrees. So in other words, if I take off and I head at a bearing of 74.5 degrees, then and that's from north, which is that red line there. I should end up more or less in the right place. So I'm going to try and do a suborbital kind of thing and see how that goes. I'm not going to do it with any kind of cunning tricks or anything. I'm going to do it all manually, is the plan. What I am going to very quickly do though is I'm just going to bring that. Is this going to fail on me? I just need to, because my scripts aren't very cleverly put together. Set your offsets to 0. Set stats time to 0. Basically, all my hover scripts use the same display block, which means I need to set some variables that otherwise the game will complain about. And there's one there. Well, let's set start time. Set start time to 0. There we go. I'm literally just hovering for a second so I can turn around so that when you launch from the standard Kerbal, space program, Kerbal space center, the red line indicating north is to the south. The red line indicating north is downwards, and 90 is off this way, and so therefore 70 is going to be about there. And that's purely so that I can launch in a relatively familiar situation. So I know vaguely where everything is going to be. I'm going to close that. Right. And I've completely forgotten. There we go. Okay. So I need to do a bit of course correction. I really want to kind of... Can I find the anti-normal? Do I have an anti-normal? Oh, that's the exact opposite of what I wanted. North and south are reversed on the top half of the nav ball. That's not doing what I wanted. What's my apoapsis? No, that's high enough. Right, so where do I want to put myself? I want to go here, I think. Oh, there we go. One anti-normal, that's what I wanted. And now a bit prograde. In fact, I'm going to go prograde at the horizon, so I don't need extra height. How am I doing for fuel? Doing alright. Doing fine for delta V as well, which is actually the main thing I need to worry about. That I think is going to do. I'm going a bit high, and the moon is going to, yeah. So that's like 2 minutes. I could have done a much flatter trajectory. So I probably should have gone right for the horizon really quickly. Meh. So I've only used about 100 delta V to get approximately there. I could have done with maybe. I could still do that. Let's go a bit towards the anti-normal. Or basically aim at the horizon so my aperture shouldn't rise too much. Just going to put my impact point a little bit beyond so that the moon will gradually rotate that way. Alright, that'll do. I'm not going to fiddle with it now. I'm going to point retrograde. This is where I could really do with a good suicide burn script, which in theory I could do. In theory I could do that. I mean, literally, excuse me. Because my current one that is part of my landing script is purely to do with falling from the sky, and it deals with the vertical velocity, not anything else. Whereas it would be useful to know. Wait a minute. Sorry, this is the flight engineer, and that does have the suicide burn distance and suicide burn DV. I could do with time, I have to admit, at this point, because what I really need to know is when I should do the burn. And a clever thing to have done, which I didn't do, is work out how long I had been burning for, and then say I'm going to need to burn about that much. So my delta V is 290. Well, that's going to go down though, so it's more like 300. So if I just give it, well, actually, grab that. Estimated burn about 10 seconds. So if I burn at about 11 seconds, should be alright. Yeah, and that's going to cost me some delta V, obviously. Where's my vessel thing? So I was on about 1400 delta V, and now I'm about to 1200. So, and I'm using much more than I needed to because I could have done a much shallower trajectory. But I don't know whether a shallow trajectory would have actually been a good idea. Yeah, so this would be a good candidate for a generic suicide burn script, which is basically, work out how much delta V I'm going to have at the to kill my speed immediately. How much delta V that's going to be, how long that delta V would take, how much distance I would travel in that delta V in doing that burn, and then start the burn that distance above smashing into the ground. With some wiggle room, you want some wiggle room. Passing over the remains of the Pallas II. I can't remember what state the Pallas II is in. Looks like I might be overshooting. I don't know if the moon is going to in fact rotate. I don't know. Mule chose the moon rotating. The moon's rotating that way. Yeah. This looks like I'm going to overshoot slightly. Excuse me, I have a phone call. No, I don't, because I just pressed the wrong bloody button because I'm an idiot. Oh, well, never mind. I hope it was important. Right, I'm going to pause. That was a phone call from me mum, so there you go. Where were we? We were flying through space. Over the moon. Yes, I need to remind myself what I was doing. Oh, dearie me, I'd have started again. But it's like, technically speaking, I do have a save point. Right when we started, because basically I was going to use that as, I've been using it as a start point to try and practice various scripting things and tune things really badly. I can make that PID hover script. The coding's fine. It's the tuning. You pass this thing variables to, and that is how you tune it. And there's how much of the error between the set point and where you are, how much of that gets put through, and there's the integral, which is essentially what's happened in the past, and there's the derivative, which is what the thing thinks is going to happen in the future. And those are the numbers I don't know how to get. I've seen, you're supposed to just put that first one and put the proportional thing in until you get a steady state oscillation, and then from the period of the oscillation and the amount of, you can work out all the other things, and it never works. It's a pain in the bottom. Yeah. In fact, I mean, the PID hover script actually has a problem because I think it's tuned for Kerbin gravity and not lunar gravity, which means that actually I get a lot more bounce because its initial thing about how much it should, how much oomph it should give the boosters, it starts off too high, so it goes boom, it overshoots and then has to come level out. Which is particularly bad if you're using your hover script in conjunction with, tilt steering, because if it's over, it's gone over, it turns off the throttle entirely, which means your tilt steering does nothing. So that can cause all sorts of problems. I've been trying to make a script which will, hold it exactly, steady, and that's been a pain. Doing it by RCS is a pain, and doing it with tilting, that's a pain. So yeah, my tilting I've lost about 400 delta V. I don't have that much delta V left to lose. Oh, I'm coming up on about the 10 seconds. My suicide burn is running down as well. So the question is whether or not they're going to run out at about the same time. So I was going to go to 11 seconds and then stop. Was my plan, and that's looking like it's going to be about right. Or maybe, which one's going to run out first? Suicide burn distance or that? No, my favourite thing, trying to keep track of two things at the same time. Getting close. Very quiet. Oh no, I know what. That's worked out pretty well. Caps lock. Ooh, that's bad. Ah, that's why. That's that SAS thing again. Right. So let's gently lower ourselves to the ground. Just quit out of that. Because I'm actually way above the ground. I'm much higher than I need to be. So let's go to 500. So I should drop from the sky until it hits 500. I'm also going to do a thing where I... First off, get rid of that. I'm going to set that to... Oh, I can't... There we go. So I've slightly overshot. But that's okay. So here I am at 500. Now, can I find, if I go more or less directly south, which is, so which way am I pointing? The bits with the scientific instrument is the way it should be pointing. So I want to point towards where I want to go. I think. Yeah. This is the rather slightly irritating thing where the way I'm pointing is very confusing to me. Right, so no, so I want to point that way, and I'm going to just rotate around so that the instrument panel is now pointing towards me, and therefore I know where I'm going. and therefore that should the nav ball will now make sense to me. Right, so there we go. Close that. Oh, and I now don't have enough delta V to get out to take off. Nuts. So I've caused myself a bit of a problem. Altitude train, so I should. Hey, it's a learning process. I mean, basically what it means is I'm going to lose the grasshopper capability of this particular rover, which is kind of sad, but there you go. Wait, am I going in completely the wrong direction now? Right, let's get on the ground. Let's get on the ground. I really need a thing that will show the areas that I'm navigating to on my nav ball or something. That should be. So I'm gradually reducing my height. I'm going to land and then I'm just going to rove from that point on. Kind of hope I can get to the ground before I run out of delta V entirely. I may have. Let's just tip back a bit. In fact, let's stop. Oh, this is not good. We're gonna crash anything. No, it doesn't look like it. Whoa, 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 whoa. This is the problem I have with the tuning of this particular script, which I'm going way up into the air. And the question is whether I'll have enough thrust at the end to catch myself. So I've gone way up and then go down, and is it going to catch me in time and tungsten? Still heading a bit. So anticipating. Oh, this definitely could have been more betterer. No, I don't want to get down. I don't believe I want to get down to that crater. Definitely the thing that'll just kill my speed. Right, doesn't do anything else, doesn't try and get me to a particular location, doesn't try and do anything clever. It just kills speed. Nothing else. There we go. Turn off the SES. Brakes are still on. Control C out of that. Control C, not Shift C. Right, I now have sod all Delta V, so I can't really do much of anything at this point. Right, how far? I went really quite far, so I need to go back north again. Well, that was interesting. Oh, I remember a thing. I need to do a thing. These reaction wheels are actually a bit too strong if I'm just trying to move about. So I actually want to use normal wheels. Right, I think I'm looking. So I'm pressing forwards and I'm going this way. This feels about right. So I'm heading north. So there you go. I really could do with some method of actually showing me where my... Oh, wait a minute, where am I going? I honestly do not know what direction I'm going in. Which way is forwards? Oh no, bad. This is somewhat unfortunate. I need reaction wheels again. Oh, nuts! Don't lose all of them. There you go. Almost all my panels. Yeah, I think that's almost. Oh, how aggravating! Well. And I was doing so well as well. Still going pretty fast. Still no clue what direction I'm heading in. Oh, well, never mind. That'll give me an excuse to make the next Pallas lander, which is going to have lights on the bottom of it, so I can actually operate during the night. So that's life. Maybe I need to learn to do more efficient grasshopper leaps like that, you know, kind of whoosh. That ended up taking a lot more Delta V than I thought it would. It seemed that I was actually on board to being okay. Maybe it's the fact that I ended up so very high off the ground because I went too soon, probably, and ended up, I think it was about 1,000 meters off the ground, which is quite a lot. Never mind. Well, we're just going to keep going and keep trying, and so Yeah, thanks so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. Find us at nearenoughdice.com, which is our role-playing game themed podcast and blog. I can speak about as well as I can pilot rovers. That rover needs sorting. Maybe an action group to turn the reaction wheels on and off, because I probably could have saved it had I been able to get the reaction wheels back on quickly enough. That's the thing to look into. But the problem is the reaction wheels, unless there's a separate set of controls for controlling steering, the reaction wheels were controlling everything more than the wheels on the actual rover, and that was causing issues. So yeah, where are we? We're still in the Midlands. This is the bottom of the crater. Well, it's not in the bottom of the crater. We're just big. No, it's a crater. But apparently that's still the Midlands. Never mind. Oh well, we'll try again. I have been Mike of Nearly Enough Dice, and until again, until we meet again, reach for the stars.